Hi, my name is Christiana Doiel, and I have attended both JBC and teen camp in previous years.
Hi, my name is Bryce. This is my first year attending camp.
Hi, my name is Joshua Doyle, and this is my 7th year at the Wilds Christian Camp.
Hello, my name is Riley Hode. This was my 4th year going to the Wilds.
My name is Briella Kelly, and this was my 2nd year at the Wilds.
Hi, my name is Jordan Hode. I've attended camp for 4 years.
I enjoyed the 4th Falls hike, the 3rd Falls zip line, and the games throughout the week. However, what I enjoyed most was the fellowship with other Christian teenagers. This year I participated in CIT, the Camper and Training program at the Wilds. For 2 weeks, the CITers sat under the instruction of Brandon Hamilton, John Dalton, and Willie Parton as we studied how to be servant-minded leaders. Kurt Skelly, the speaker, explained that at the burning bush, Moses gave 3 excuses on why he couldn't go to Egypt. He was afraid, he couldn't due to physical limitations, and finally, he purposed that he wouldn't. I realized that too often I'm like Moses. Instead, I should strive to add virtue to my faith, humbling myself, and purposing to emulate the character of Jesus. The past 2 weeks were fun, convicting, encouraging, and life-changing.
The thing to do was the cabin cheers and hang out with my cabin. The speaker for this week was Steve Pettit. The most impactful sermon was the one about how a Christian can manage with our falls. Steve Pettit mentioned Proverbs 24:16, which states, "For a just man falls 7 times and rises up again, but the wicked shall fall into mischief." And this sermon and this verse showed me how in the Bible, 7 symbolizes completion. So it shows us that we will eventually be able to overcome sin by God's grace. And the fact that we sin so much also helps to humiliate us and to realize that we aren't great and we're ultimately wicked. But by the blood of Jesus, we can be made right with God. And that helped me to determine to be more obedient to God by not being slothful and to also be more humble.
Some of my favorite activities throughout the week included the 1st Falls zip line and hanging out with the guys in my cabin. This week's focus was about being dead to sin and alive in Jesus, and Steve Pettit, our speaker, had a few good sermons on living a mature Christian life. My favorite sermon was about how God uses trials in our lives. He stated that all trials are difficult, diverse, and specifically designed by God, and he told us that God uses trials to work in us so that he can work through us. I also learned that all of our hard times and circumstances teach us to trust in God and to endure in our walk with Christ. This past week, I determined to follow James' advice when he tells us to count it all joy when we fall into diverse temptations, that we might be able to see the underlying value in our trial.
My favorite activity this year was hiking to the 4th Falls, then riding the zip line in the rain with my friends. This year's speaker was Steve Pettit. He preached on how to win the battle over sin. He talked about how God's response to our sin is grace. Grace is the undeserved kindness that gives man both the desire and ability to please him. I've never heard grace described like this, and it really helped me to understand that because of grace, I don't have to live in sin. This year, I've been challenged to be more consistent in the Word because I know I can't do all this on my own.
My favorite activity was the zip line over 3rd Falls in the rain. God had a plan then and always has one. One phrase to sum up my entire week at the Wilds was, live fully for God. I know for me, my walk has been shallow and lazy. I didn't get in the Word daily, I neglected devotions, and I had no desire to learn more about God. Thursday night's sermon, getting the most out of troubles, really hit me. Your trials are a testing of your faith, and when you are weak, you recognize the Lord. I was weak. I was lazy. Steve Pettit's prayer especially convicted me as he talked about thanking God through our trials, listening to God's voice, acknowledging that you need help from God, and begging God for forgiveness.
What did you do at the 1st Falls?
We took a hike that was 30 minutes, and then my favorite part was either the water slide, which had like the fast waters going down to like the little pond with all the water on the bottom, or when I tried to go underneath the falls to the other side where the water slide was made up of rocks. Challenged me to trust God even when things are hard, and just know that he'll always provide and he'll always hold on to me and never forsake me.
Needed your time, money, or prayers so that we could go to camp. Thank you so much.
So thank you all for helping us to go to the Wilds. Thank you for your prayers and financial support. Please pray that I would stick to the decisions I made in regard to slothfulness and faithfulness to God. And I look forward to next year.
This is probably my favorite week at camp, so I want to thank everyone who supported us by coming to the fundraisers and praying for us throughout the week.
Thank you for your prayers and donations this year.
Thank you all for your prayers, your support, and I pray that I continue to strive for God.
Thank you for your prayers for camp, your financial support, and for getting us to camp.